Let me start this way. My folks were born in Georgia. In the early 1900s, they migrated to Oklahoma. I was born in a little town called Winnetka, Oklahoma, November 30th, 1923. My father was, I'm junior. My father was Henry Floyd Kirkland, Sr., and my mother, her name was Maud Walder Kirkland. Well, my father was a part-time farmer and part-time storekeeper. It was 9 kids. However, I'm down on the bottom rung, so I'm not. One or two was married, so you can tell how far the spread was, you know. But I have a sister. I had a sister that's younger than I am. Well, they were like most parents, I suppose, during those years, took care of their affairs and family. I guess there's still some of the pioneer days left over. My grandmother, I think she died in around 1933, so I had a chance to spend a few years with her. My grandfather, he died in 1950. I think he was 98 when he died. She was rather young. She was about 60 when she died, so. He was born in 1855, and she was born in 1860. Well, they were born during slavery, and pretty rough. And during that time, the slaves took on the name of their owner. Mm-hmm. And so it came to a point where I suppose it would be like if we were Kirklands, we were owned by the master, they called him, and we took on his name. And if he decided to sell some of his slaves, they took on the name of the purchaser. So there's one incident that I heard my folks talk about was we were Kirklands, but he wanted to sell off some to another master. So it was a toss-up between whether we were going to end up being sold and acquire the name Branson. So I probably had somewhere down the line have some relatives named Branson, that could have been my, relatives as a Kirkland.
Happy 100th birthday, Grampy. We are blessed to have you for all of these 100 years and for our children to be able to enjoy their great-great-grandfather for all this time. Have a good one.
Happy birthday, Grampy.
Happy birthday, Grampy. 100 is crazy.
Daddy, this is your number 3 daughter, Valda. I just want to wish you a very, very happy birthday, and we are truly blessed to have you to make your triple digit 100. Happy birthday!
In 1929, I was about 5 years old. We migrated to California. My mother had 5 brothers out here. California then wasn't populated very much then. It was, and everybody was talking about how great it was and all this. So I suppose it was between her saying, well, let's go to California, and the economics way things were in becoming, because they had the stock market crash. Not that my dad had stock or anything, but he had a lot of stock, as animal stock. Had to get rid of it because all the prices were going down. So it was partially financial and wanting to be with a part of our family. And I remember very vividly, we had a car and a truck. He had $2,000 or $3,000 sewed in the seat of the car when we came to California. It's supposed to be hiding from hijackers. The kids and the driver that rode the truck, and my father and mother and my uncle and his wife rode in the car. And they had a tarp, like the army trucks. All the kids were in this truck. It was pretty crowded in there. Route 66, partially gravel. It wasn't paved. The only time you saw pavement was when you came to a town. City streets were paved. After you get out on the road, it was gravel. I think it took us about 7 days because we stopped in Albuquerque for a couple of days. It was snowing, and we had to stay there about 3 days till the roads opened back up. We ended up in Bakersfield. Yeah, when we came to California in 1929, but when he was farming, it was 1930 and 31. My dad got some land and farmed for 2 years. And my dad was farming this land called Pumpkin Center. It was kind of hard to come by getting finance for the crops. Right. So he stopped farming and just started working. I went to a little school called Panama Grammar School. About every 2 years or so, 3 years, we would move. I don't know why. I guess it was because of the times, either where the work was, But it was all around the area of Bakersfield. I went to country schools till the 6th grade, and then we moved to town. So I went to junior high school in Bakersfield, and I went to Bakersfield High. It was Kern County Union High then.
Grampy, happy 100th birthday. 100 years of a beautiful life and 54 years for me of having the best grandfather on earth. I hope today is a blessed day for you and a happy day for you because you most certainly deserve it. You have been a man of honor. You have led your family well, and I am because of you. I love you, Grampy. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Grampy. I just wanted to tell you happy 100th birthday. I love you, and just one special memory. I remember when you and Grandma used to come and pick us up from school and take us to McDonald's and then to the fair. Those were one of the best times that all of the grandkids had. I love you and wish you more and happiness in this year.
Happy 100th birthday, Grampy. I don't know what Kelly was talking about. We didn't do none of that, but I did get that bag of candy every Halloween. Happy birthday.
In junior high, some guy came to town and he was going to start a youth band. I was trying to play guitar then. Well, these guys had all these horns and things, and I had this little acoustic guitar, and I couldn't hear myself, When I got to high school, I got a saxophone, and the only one they had was a B-flat soprano. The straight looked like a clarinet. It was a horn that nobody wanted, because nobody played it. But I took it, and I practiced. Start off in the beginnings. In 2 months, I was in the elementary band. The next 2 months, I was in the high school band. I would practice day and night, whenever I wasn't in school. So that's how I ended up playing saxophone. The funny thing about it, when I got to the high school band, I never played saxophone in the band because he put me on clarinet. Oh. I never played a clarinet. I hardly know what a clarinet was either. It gave me an instruction book and a clarinet. Said, tomorrow you sit with the clarinet section. And then second year, I played baritone saxophone in the high school orchestra. I was in the high school orchestra and the band. The big bands were king then. Outside of school, there was a big, about 12-piece band, and I played in that dance band. I graduated on a Friday night, and Monday I reported to Fresno to go to work for the forestry. I worked all this summer for the forestry, and then I came back, started to Bakersfield Junior College. And December the 7th, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. all kinds of offers and jobs were open then. So I went to the Bay Area, Oakland, to be exact, and I went to work in the shipyard. And they were drafting from 20 to 35, and I was 19. So I worked in the shipyard about a year and a half, and they lowered the draft to 18, and that's when my number was called. I went in the Army. I went to Fort Belvoir, Virginia. They sent me to administration school, and I became a general clerk. They sent us all to Pennsylvania as an overseas replacement depot. At this camp, they processed the soldiers for overseas shipment. As luck would have it, they needed a clerk at the headquarters. So they pulled me out of there and sent me down to headquarters. That's when they had two armies in the United States, a black army and a white army. It's separate. Everything was separate. They had two PXs, one white and one black, two mess halls, one white and one black. Everything, two. And I found out that the captain in charge of the office, he was also head of the band. I played with some of the guys in the band, and so I approached this captain. So that's how I ended up in the band for 3 years. So I was in the service.
Happy 100th birthday, Grampy. It is absolutely wonderful to be part of your legacy.
Happy 100th birthday, Grampy.
Happy birthday, Daddy.
Happy birthday, Kirk.
It's been 66 years for me celebrating your birthday. Now that you're going to be 100, so that means that you were 34 when I was born. What you want to say?
Thank you for your love, support.
That's kind of corny. But anyway, thank you for everything, Daddy.
Thank you for everything.
You made me the man that I am.
Thank you for accepting me as your daughter. Cheers to 100 years, Grampy.
Happy birthday, Grampy.
Love you.
Then, when I got out in February 1946, another twist of fate, I had a job counting potato sacks. And I had just got home from work and went to sleep, and my brother came in the room and said, "There's a guy out here want to talk to you." And so I got up, went out there, and so there's a friend of mine that the guy was looking for a saxophone player. He asked me if I was interested, and I like broke my neck telling him yes. Anyhow, I came to Fresno with him. We came to Fresno, and things weren't working out the way but in the meantime, it was a jam session down to the Elks Club. The bass player, Uncle had a band. He had a big band, but during the war he broke it down to 6 pieces. He was looking for a saxophone player, and I got the job. But I had promised this guy I was going to play with him, so I had a problem. Anyhow, we worked it out, and I started to work with Gene Coy. I met Faye shortly after I came to Fresno. It was 1946. This church was around the corner from the local Elks Club. She played piano for the church, and there was a jam session at this club on a Sunday evening. When church was over, she came over to the club with a party of about 6 or 7 people. I met her then, but it was just a casual meeting, you know. And I lived at the time. I had a room about a block from the Elks Club, and to get down to Chinatown, I had to pass a place where she worked in the daytime, when she could look out the window and see me pass. And I'd go to breakfast every morning about 10 o'clock, and she'd look out and see me and come out and talk to me. That's really when things got started.
And then when did you get married?
In 1946.
1946?
In September.
You worked quickly.
Yeah, well, why fool around?
Happy blessed 100th birthday, Daddy. I have been praying for this time, and God has really blessed you. I love you to the moon and back. And guess what? I'm going to keep our little secret that I'm your favorite daughter. Love you.
Hi. Happy birthday. Love you.
Love you, Griff. 100.
Yeah, 100. Happy birthday.
100.
Happy birthday, Grampy. We love you.
Your grandpa, 100. Let me tell you something, man. You don't look a day over 93. Like when I see you, I go, man, that man look young. And then I go, is it 95 or is it 100? You know what? I ain't gonna skip none of these. 100. Just want to wish you the best, man. And I know it's that Fresno water that keeps you like that. And I know you moving and shaking. I know you are. But look here, if you ever need something, just hit your boy. I got a hookup. I got a doctor. I'm out. Happy birthday, Grampy. And you know what? Man, forget it. Let's do another 100. How about that? Yeah, I feel that. Happy birthday, sir.
Broadway used to be 99 Highway. That's where all the clubs were at. Then all the highways went through town. We went to work. There's a club there across from the Crest Theater, across the street. It's called Club La Conga. During that time, they had shows. We played 3 shows a night. Yeah, well, they had an MC. The MC was usually a comedian and dancer. He did several things. And you had a couple of strippers, a female vocalist. We went to work at 8 o'clock. He got off at 12. He did the show again, and usually it was 3 shows a night. And I left the band after about 5-6 years, but they were still playing. It's just like going to work every day, 6 nights a week. When I left Gene, the bass player, his nephew, had left the band before, and he was working with another group, and he got a chance to form a band himself. So he called me and asked me, made me a proposition, and his job was in Sacramento. His name was Sonny J. His was Sonny J. Quartet. By this time, I was married and had a couple of kids, make a little more money than I'm making now, So he made me a proposition, and so I left the band and went to Sacramento and work with him. I worked with him for about 2 years, and we came back to Fresno because everybody in the group was from Fresno, so we came back. We were coming home every week anyway. We were off on Monday nights, and so after we got through playing Sunday night, we came home and went back Tuesday. Just got tired, So the job that we were supposed to have had fell through, so here I am out here with I think I just bought this house, 1950, and I just bought a Mercury, in 1951, I think, Mercury. So I had to find a job in this house. We moved in here in 1950. So I asked the guy, I said, well, look, this is just changing it. Just we'll take the same band and just put it under my name. So he said, no, I don't want to. I'm going to stay home. So anyhow, I knew a girl, piano player in Bakersfield that I grew up with. I called her, and she'd come to work with me. And I knew a bass player. He was actually from Fresno, but he was living in Bakersfield then. And I called him, and he said, yeah. And Cooley, the funeral home, he was when I first went to Sacramento, he was in that band. And he went with me. So we got it together. And
It's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday.
May the next trip around the sun be your best.
Cheers to 100 years of memories and 100 years of life. Thank you for all the documented memories.
We're blessed to be able to celebrate this 100th birthday with you, Grampy. We love you. Love your favorite heathens.
Kevin.
Crystal and little Reese. Happy birthday, Grampy. We love you.
Hi, Daddy. Dennis and I just want to wish you a happy 100th birthday. We love you so much, and you've taught us so much. And when I was 3 years old, I told a lady I was going to see my pretty daddy when Mom and I were going to Bakersfield and you were playing down there. And I still think of you as my pretty daddy. Love you.
And you're my pappy. And I love you too. You've been a great inspiration to me for a long time, and you're probably one of the bases for our relationship over all the years we've been married too. So happy 100th birthday.
Yeah, well, what happened with big bands, they booked all across the country. There's a booking agency, and they set all these tours up for these big bands. You in Fresno Tuesday night, you in Bakersfield Wednesday night, then Thursday night you double back up to Sacramento, and then the next night you're in the Bay Area. They work you back east. To me, at that time, it seemed like real glamorous to be doing that stuff, you know. I was working at the Say When in San Francisco, and a booking agent came in there, and he booked me for a job, and the band that was coming in was held over. Well, that left me out. I'm out 6 weeks. So in the meantime, he's gonna book me someplace else. So he booked me to Honolulu. I'll never forget, Louis Armstrong was playing there, and Louis Armstrong played the first hour. We played the second hour, like that for a week. He was there for.
So you had to follow Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
How was that?
I was nervous as hell. I want to say. But we had this chick singing, and she'd bring the house down. So, and the guy that owned the club, he had 2 clubs in Honolulu, and he got this great idea that he could book bands in military bases and Japanese theaters and nightclubs and everything, because there had never been, in no American bands over there. Nothing. Decided he wanted us to go play in Japan, on tour in Japan for 2 months. It was 12 hours to fly from L.A. to Honolulu, 10 hours from Honolulu to Wake Island. They stopped and refueled, and they flew from Wake Island to Tokyo. And that's the first time I ever flew when I left Los Angeles going there. And I was scared. And I was scared. 10 hours, nothing out there but water. When we got to Tokyo, we stayed in Tokyo. We had a valet, a cook, because we were coming and going. We might go out for 2 days, might go out for 3 or 4 days, or a week. Usually we did a lot of army work, some Japanese nightclubs, Japanese theaters. And that was a kick. First show would be 10 o'clock in the morning. They show a movie, like here in each state, they show a movie, they show band play, show a movie. You might do 5 or 6 shows a day. You do it for maybe a week or 3 or 4 days or whatever.
Happy 100th birthday, Grampy. I just want to thank you for being so kind and generous to everybody all these years. You're one of those people that rises above everything around you, and I really appreciate that about you.
Grampy, thank you so much for being a wonderful inspiration to us and how to live our best lives. Happy birthday, Grampy. We love you.
Happy 100th birthday, Grampy. Make it 101. Come on.
Hey, Gramps.
Hey, Grampy.
100. Like Benjamin Franklin.
Happy birthday, Grampy.
Yeah, happy birthday. We love you so much, man. Appreciate you for everything.
Love you.
Now, when did you start the post office?
1959.
And were you still performing at that time?
Yeah, I was still playing. I never stopped playing. I was just weekends and I worked much as I could stand because I was getting up 5 o'clock in the morning, walking around one of these routes every day, you know.
And when did you retire?
July 3rd, 1987.
And then did you keep playing after your retirement?
I had one job left after I played that job. And the last time I touched my horns, they had a demonstration over at Hinton Center. They had somebody donated some instruments, and they wanted to start a band for senior citizens, and they asked me would I come over and do something, So I did a little 2 or 3 minute thing, and that's the last time I touched the horn. That was about maybe 6 or 8 months after I retired. You want to buy 2 saxophones?
Happy birthday, Grampy. We love you.
Happy birthday, Gramps. It's been a long time, since 1980, since I was born. Just want to thank you for everything you taught me, and happy 100th birthday.
Hey, Grampy, happy birthday. Cheers on the touching 100. Yep. Let's grab some drinks. Bye.
Hi, Kirky! Happy birthday! I'm so sorry I can't be at your party. I want nothing more than to be there, whooping it up for your 100th year, but don't worry, I will be at 101. I want to thank you for everything you've done for me in life. You're the reason I love music. You're the reason I'm such a kind, giving, caring person. And I want to thank you for that. And I can't wait to see you. I love you.
Physically, I feel the same. Mentally, I find myself reminiscing over the past years in my life or times in my life that my thoughts were altogether different in a progressive sort of way. Well, there's periods in your life that you, it seems to go in from 8 to 12 years, that you'll have an idea or a way of thinking, and all of a sudden you become enlightened to another period that sort of makes the period that you're coming out of obsolete. And if you follow your way of thinking, it have a tendency to lead you in the right direction in the long run. So for me, that way of thinking worked out fine for me. So I hope it entails somebody that it will help along the way somewhere.